Welcome back to another video here on the channel, guys. I'm glad you're joining me today. We know the markets have been down, not looking too hot recently, so today we're going to dive into that. I'm going to show you some examples of previous bull markets and really break it down for you to help you understand that this is all normal. This is part of the process. Don't get stressed out. Take advantage of the opportunity that is presented to you so that you can have a more successful bull run. So let's go ahead and get into it. Thanks for joining me today. So we're going to go ahead and start out here with a crypto heat map. I'm sure you guys are familiar with what we see right now here today. A lot of red here in the heat map. Now, yesterday was a pretty green day. We had the big dump and then a nice bounce back. As you can see, some coins are still showing green from their pumps yesterday. But we're going to go ahead and look at some charts. I'm going to share with you guys why we see what's going on. So right here, this is the DXY. DXY is a dollar index. So this is the measurement of the strength of the US dollar against a basket of other currencies, fiat currencies. And so this is what measures that. Now, the past couple of weeks here that crypto has been down, this is a weekly chart, the DXY has been going up. So when the DXY is going up, naturally assets are going to suffer. If the dollar is strong, things that are priced in dollars are going to cost less dollars to buy. That's just how the markets in general work. So some of you may be familiar with this already. I'm sorry to I'm sorry to those of you that are. I just wanted to break that down for everybody so we all understand. Now, as we know, this is basically a month here of the DXY going up. Crypto has been down a little bit longer than that, but we're going to go ahead and look at some charts now. So here's Bitcoin. Right now, we're on our fourth week down. This weekly candle is going to be closing very soon. So this is something that we're paying close attention to. We want to see it close above a certain point, preferably above $61,500 would be great, but there's some other levels. We're not going to get into that today. I'm going to explain to you some other points on why you don't need to be worried right now. So again, this is the Bitcoin chart. Let's go ahead and look at the Bitcoin in the last bull run. So essentially, this is what I want to show you guys. We're going to switch over to the logarithmic chart here. Okay. So in the last bull market, right, what happened? Obviously, we all know there was this big COVID dump. I'm not going to count that. I don't like when people count that because obviously that's not something that you can really quantify. It was kind of truly a black swan event. Okay, so after the COVID dump right here in March of 2020, now we are here in July of 2020, so right around where we're at right now. In July of 2020, we had 4 weeks of a downtrend. In that downtrend, we peaked out at 10,400 after the crypto dump. So that was about a 15% drawdown we had there, a little bit of consolidation, and then a move up again. So when we had this move up, obviously we're seeing some resistance here at this area. We saw some resistance here after like the dead cat bounce here from the last bull market high. Anyway, we come up 21% drawdown. We come up again, 17% drawdown. We come up again, 31% drawdown up here at the highs at 41,000. We came down to 28,000 essentially. Again, we peak up here around 65,000, came back down, 56% dump. Then we come up again, another 25% dump before we set the final all-time high, peak of the bull run, and then we go into the bear market. Now, of course, that's just Bitcoin. Okay, you know, we are all familiar with some of the dips and dives, but it's important to kind of look at this because it helps you really remember, you know, this is all part of the plan. When we zoom out, I know people say, zoom out, and when in doubt, zoom out. It's hard to do that sometimes when in the moment, you know, with all this macro stuff going on, it feels like, you know, it's different this time. But while some things are different this time, ultimately, these are the markets. They've been trading for decades, and so this is how they work. Now, with these drawdowns in bull markets, essentially what's going on here through this whole period of green, all the people that were buying right here, all the big all the big money essentially that was buying right here is selling through this whole move. And that's, well, right up to here. And that's why we had this move. Now they're done selling. They want to buy some more. So they are buying the whole time retail is selling. Now they're selling into retail through this whole move again. Now they're buying in this quick little dip here. This was a kind of a little bit of an anomaly. We came up, and within 1 week, we had a little bit of a drawdown and came back up there. But anyway, again, buying and selling. In a sense, you got to kind of flip how you see it in these markets. Strong assets, things that are going places. When they're red, that's when the market makers and the big money are loading up so that they can sell into retail, because a lot of retail buy into green pumps. Like, they see a coin, for example, Axelar yesterday was up 30% in a day, 35%, 36%, and people were probably piling into it. Oh my God, it's going up. They should have been buying right here on this candle, right here on this candle. So anyway, that's just a kind of an aside I wanted to point out. But let's get back into it here. So we looked at Bitcoin chart here on the weekly. Now let's jump over to Ethereum. Similar thing here. Now Ethereum essentially was the leader altcoin from the last cycle. What do we see here? Same song and dance. 36% drawdown here in October of 2020. Again, I'm not counting this COVID dump here, and I didn't really count this because this was a little bit more serious here. 36% dump. We come back up. 32% dump. Come back up. 36% dump. Come back up. 60% drawdown. And then obviously we know this was kind of the leverage degen second, double top of the market. But this is still a drawdown that wound up coming back up. So, bear in mind, essentially. And there's another one here that I didn't even measure. So essentially, look at Ethereum, drawdown after drawdown, 4 times on the way up, really 5 times on the way up to its all-time high. Now let's go ahead and look at a couple other tokens, some altcoins, because it might be easy to say, okay, well, that's Bitcoin and ETH, but altcoins are down 70% right now. That's not 30%. That's not the 40% you just showed me with Bitcoin and ETH. Okay, I understand that. Let's take a look. So Solana, let's take a look at Solana. Solana was kind of the, big play of the last cycle, so to speak. Here we go. Solana launched, ran up to $1.41, came back down to 49 cents. I didn't measure that drawdown because this is pretty typical. Big pump, 79% drawdown. So an 80% drawdown, and this is in January of 2021. 80% drawdown. So then we pump massively, 70% drawdown. Then we pump again to all-time highs. So, those are massive retracements in the price. 80% and 70%, it's not a small move. Let's go ahead and look at a couple other tokens real quick here. Matic. So let's go over to Matic. Where was I just looking at the Matic chart? Matic USD. Okay. So Matic, here we go. Matic was a big one in the last cycle. It was like a 300x coin or whatever. Here we go. We launched under a cent. Price is choppy, goes up to 4 cents, comes down to 0.007. I didn't even measure this, but let's do a quick measurement. Top to bottom, that's an 84% drawdown, with a minor pump in between. Then we get to here. This is a COVID drop. That's why I didn't measure it. Anyway, we get to here, 66% drawdown in November of 2020. Then here, similar kind of in a real quick short span here, we came up, we came down, and we even closed back up, but 51% drawdown. Big pump up, 78% drawdown, and then finally it peaked out at $3 essentially, right around $3. So that's Matic, another example. Let me give you one more example. Let's look at one other coin that was big in the last cycle, Algorand. Here we go. Not going to count this dump. That's the COVID dump. Big recovery for Algorand after the COVID dump there. 71% drawdown, 54% drawdown, 62% drawdown. So I just wanted to bring you guys through this so that you can really visualize, this is all part of the game. And it's happening, with a lot of coins right now. I get it. I know the feeling. I'm sitting through it as well. So it's not fun, but as long as you remember, this is just part of these markets. This is just part of how it goes. And, you know, the people that were sitting through it in the last cycle that held on and sat through it and didn't sell out of fear, they're the ones who got to reap the major rewards at the end of the day. So that's what we're aiming for. That's what I want to see all of you guys get. So just remember, you know, stay up to date with what's going on, because there will come a time when it's time to get out. And it's, you know, not everybody is going to be saying, oh, it's time to sell when that time is here, because they're not going to want you to sell. They're going to want people to keep buying and buying and buying so they can offload into that liquidity. So we want to stay ahead of the game, ahead of everybody else, ahead of the other influencers, and we want to make sure we get our gains and get out, so we're not leaving any money on the table. I'm here to take you guys through that. This is just a quick video just so that you can maintain that mindset that's really going to get you where you want to go. So I'm here with you guys. We're here for this journey. Subscribe to the channel, drop a like on this video if you appreciate the content, if you learned something new out of it, and subscribe. I want to see you subscribe to this channel. I got more videos to come, and I'm taking requests. What do you want to see? What do you want to learn about? I'm going to be doing DeFi videos. I'm going to be doing more TA videos, more trading videos. And so I'm going to be bringing you guys the sauce. Hope you enjoyed today's video, and I will see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.